in their unbelief. And that's why Isaiah says, you know, doing miracles they'll see, but they won't see, hear, but they won't hear, and Jesus quotes it. Why? Because a violated intellect will never convert a hard heart. It'll just confirm the hardness of heart. And so God has been operating that way throughout all of history, I believe. He always leaves room for doubt. And you would say, well, what about, you know, Sodom and Gomorrah? What about the flood? No, no, no. There's always an explanation. There's always a natural, anybody who's there. What about all the healings? I believe everybody that saw Jesus heal somebody had the opportunity to disbelieve in what they just saw. We see that manifestly in several of the stories. The man born blind, the Pharisees adamantly refused to receive what their eyes were clearly put to the... And when a voice spoke from heaven, remember? Many of us would say, oh, if God would just talk to my friend out of heaven. If a voice would happen one time in the Gospels, and a bunch of people said, is that thunder? Right? Some said it thundered.
He rose from the dead, and they still didn't believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Said Lazarus to my brothers.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So this verse here, it says again, the natural man does not accept the things of the Spirit of God. So we have to choose to believe, and then God gives us. I mean, most of you, I think everybody in this room probably believes in Jesus, right? And do you feel like you've lost your mind? You have good intellectual reason for believing? You do, don't you? Sometimes you might not feel like you can express them as well as the next guy, but you feel like, no, I've not. And yet to the world, we look like we've all lost our minds. Do you understand that? You know, I'll exaggerate only slightly. All the professors at UNC think we're crazy. I'm exaggerating ever so slightly, right? And they will continue to think that in each one until they decide to believe in God, and then all of a sudden, they'll get revelation. Now, just one more thing before we go. And we're just kind of rambling, but it's been a fun ramble, hasn't it? Verse 15, but he who is spiritual appraises all things. We do? Yes, we do. Oh, my goodness. You could spend an hour on that, couldn't you? Yet he himself is appraised by no man. Maybe we'll stop here. We've done verse 16. Yet he himself is appraised by who? No man. I would strongly urge you. Does that include yourself? Yes, it does. When I was a youth pastor many years ago, when I was a good modern, and I was a good modern Christian, and I used to love those self-evaluation things where you measure yourself and you test yourself and you have a long page. I used to make them up. It was so much fun to make them up. and believe me, I measured myself too, you know, and sometimes I come up good and some you know, I'd try to be so sincere and so hardworking.
But you always came up good on the ones you made up yourself.
Yeah, no, I was sincere. I was a good modern. I was not arrogant, but it was all hogwash. A spiritual man appraises all things, but is appraised by no one, not even him or herself. So just in case you're still under that burden of self-appraisal, I would like to relieve you of that. Just as the last word this morning, just come off. Forget all that stuff. God does not hold a magnifying glass over you so that you can find out if you measure up. You're having a quiet time talking to friends about Jesus, praying, speaking in tongues, whatever it may be. There is no standard. You have to come up and do this, or you're not.
Even the good judgment is bad.
Even the good judgment is bad.
Yeah, and I'm thinking what you're talking about earlier about the power of being non-offended. This is sort of a corollary to that. I mean, that if we don't perceive ourselves to be looking to anybody for judgment, for approval, then that frees us to not be offended and to not create an offense in being offended.
Yeah, exactly.
When we receive the forgiveness of God, then we don't have to appraise others.
We don't appraise ourselves. We just stand there. So let me bless you. I bless you as people that are not being appraised by yourself. You're not being appraised by your papa, by God himself. He looks at you and sees the righteousness of Christ, and he's tickled with you. He is only grieved for what your sin does to you, but not what it does to him. And I bless you to be people who are experiencing revelation from the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
But it comes, by no means, don't put yourself in a box and think, well, it has to happen to me the way it happens like to Dan. No, 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 no. You receive, but do receive. Desire to hear from the Holy Spirit. Desire to receive. It may not be words, maybe it is sometimes. It may not be a picture, maybe it is sometimes. Just desire to receive. And I bless you to be people who are going to receive revelation from the Holy Spirit, because as we do that, as we receive the deep things of God, then we will not be, as John pointed out, the church of Ephesus that has lost its first love. I proclaim, declare you to be people of whom it will never be said, you've lost your first love.
Hallelujah.
Your love is refreshed and rekindled.
Yes, Lord.
Every day. Every day. Don't be afraid, don't worry, just receive the love of God. As you receive His love, then your love will stay fresh. Receive it in the name of Jesus.